Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Melanie, your She Shed Scrapper. So today I am back with a video on how I personally pack for a crop, and hopefully this video will kind of give you some ideas if you have an upcoming crop on how to pack and kind of condense everything so you're not overpacking. I have written myself some notes so I don't forget everything. First, in the video I'll kind of go over 3 different ways of how I choose almost paper kits to take with me. Those 3 ways are kind of starting out with pictures, starting out with kits or collections that I want to work with, and then the 3rd way would be kind of cut files. Some cut files that I know I want to use have pictures that will go with them, so I'll kind of go over that more in depth in the video. I have also made a checklist here of must-haves that you don't want to forget, so I'll kind of run over those real quick. One being tape and tape refills, scissors, your paper trimmer, liquid glue, cardstock, and with cardstock a lot of neutral colors, especially I guess if you use those. Don't forget the whites, the blacks, the off-whites. Those are important. I personally love my T-square, so that is on my must-have list. Don't forget foam tape, your photos, paper, and embellishments, and then pencil, a pen, or journaling pens. Those are on my list of must-haves as well. I also have a checklist of optional items to take with you, and so those for me would be an album, and with me I would take the album with a bunch of page protectors. I personally like to take my layouts home in the album. It's just easier for me. That way I can make sure that they don't get ruined. But if you don't want to bring an album, the page protectors are great. Another way to bring those home would be an iris container. They fit in there nicely, and that way you know that your finished products are not going to get ruined. Another optional item would be punches, dies, mixed media, and then your stamps, and don't forget if you take your stamps that you want your stamp blocks as well. So those are kind of must-haves and optional items that I've packed. A couple of kind of tips I have are definitely research kind of what tools are going to be available at the crop or the retreat. The one I'm personally going to has a Sizzix Big Kick already, has a Cricut, has actually punches and dies for you to use. So definitely do your research ahead of time so that you're not bringing things that you don't need. And I honestly, if I go with my friends, I like to coordinate with my friends. For an example would be like my mixed media with my Distress Oxides in particular. I have a bunch of them, and I know that, you know, I went with my aunt a couple of times and that she has a bunch of them too, and so there's really no sense in bringing duplicates if you're willing to share with each other, of course. But that would be a tip as well. So let me run over my notes real quick and make sure I've kind of talked about everything. So yeah, that is kind of a few tips ahead of time, and then I will go into actually packing for a crop. I am going to the Crafty Addicts Up North Retreat in Michigan, and I am super excited to go. It's space for 8 people, and so we have, I think, just about 8 of us going, I think. And so it's going to be a really great time. I can't wait to get a bunch done and then kind of show you guys how I pack, and then have a lot of great layouts to share with you guys after the fact as well. So let's dig in and get packing. Alright, so there's 3 main ways that I kind of plan out what I'm going to scrapbook when I go to a crop or a retreat. So the first way I'll go over is kind of just going through pictures and seeing what I feel like scrapbooking. So we'll kind of go through. These are some of my pictures for my album. We'll go through that and kind of see what is piquing my interest at the moment. Because when I do go to a crop, I like to scrapbook, I guess, things that I want to. Normally, you know, I scrapbook chronologically, so I want to kind of just have fun when I go out to a crop. So these two pictures are actually for a coordinating page with a page I already have done. So these would be a good one to take with me. I know what papers I'm going to use because I want it to coordinate with that first page. So we are actually going to set these aside, and if I remember correctly, it's the Days of Splendor by Pink Fresh Studio. So I'm going to set those aside, and those will be ones we definitely take. These ones here would be super fun from a football game with my family. However, I don't know that I would have much more sporting events to scrapbook. So I would be taking a bunch of papers just for a couple of layouts. So this one here, this event, I would probably set aside and maybe come back to, I guess, to see if I do indeed have more sporting events, more sporty layouts to do. And then it would make sense to take them, I guess, instead of, you know, taking up space for two layouts. These here, they are from a trip, and usually I will take them, but honestly at this moment nothing's really piquing my interest, so I am probably just going to set these aside as a no. This one here, this is just going to be a one-page layout with this one photo of my kids, so I'm probably going to say no as well. Again, unless I end up packing a collection that would, like, I could sneak this in, that I would want to use with this. Baking, I'm kind of holding out to get that new Simple Stories collection. I think it's Heart of Home or Hearth of Home. So I'm going to wait for that as well. And this one is just kind of a straggler. I scrapbooked some more of that. So these are Tuesday morning. I know, we did a whole trip. So I don't know. This is a maybe, because I think I have some more kind of crafty, creative ideas. So I'm going to set that in my maybe pile. This one here, I'm probably going to do, I think, because it shouldn't take up too much space. So I know that I have a donut cut file that I want to use with these photos. So I am going to put this in the yes file and cut out my donut cut file to take with me so I don't have to mess with it when I get there. So I am going to put that in a yes pile, and I know of a couple of papers that I'm going to use with that as well. These here are a lot of camping photos, and off the top of my head, I cannot think of a collection that I want to use. So I'm going to set these in the no for now pile. And then maybe if I go through my collections, because that would be number 2, the way that I pack, going kind of through my collections, finding, you know, papers and embellishments that I really want to use, and maybe I'll find something for those. But for now, that's going to go in the no pile. These here, I have an idea. These are our 10-year anniversary mixed in with our wedding photos. So I have an idea. Just don't know that I want to take these with me. And then, vacation photos, fishing photos. Again, going through them, nothing is really standing out to me. So we were not in much luck with these papers, or with the going through these pictures. So we have 2 yeses that I will take, and we have 2 maybes. So now I will go get the papers for these 2 and set the maybes aside still. So give me a second, I will be right back. Okay, so now that I found the kit that I want for the pictures, I'll kind of go through it with you. So this I already had stored in this plastic baggie, which is great for a crop. I'll leave it like that. Because this is a coordinating layout, one, either I would snap a picture of the other layout so you don't have to take up space and bring that with you, or in my case, it is actually on my Instagram page, and so I can just pull that up really quick when I'm doing this layout and make sure the two pages kind of flow together. One thing I noticed, I did look at the layout. One thing I noticed is that I did use these metal leaves from Not Just for Boys, and they were not stored in the kit, so I want to make sure that I add these to it so I can again make the two layouts kind of cohesive. So I am going to stick that in here as well. I have all the embellishments, all the stickers, all the papers, everything that you could think of already stored in here, so that is a time saver. One thing that I did last trip, and it made it really easy for me, is that I kind of made notes on how many layouts are in kind of either each iris container, each bag, that kind of thing, so that I have an idea of how much more I guess I need to pack. So what I'm going to do is I am going to do a little note for myself. So 1-page layout is what this is going to be. My feeling is that because this is such a big kit that I'm taking, I will probably then go ahead and look for more fall photos that will match this kit. And so I'm not just bringing this ginormous kit for one layout. So I am going to put the photos and my note in here. Another thing I learned, so that I don't have to go back and keep counting, is I'm going to make a note that I have one, kind of do a tally, I have one layout. So I'm going to set that aside so I can keep adding to it. So I'm going to set this aside, and that will get packed eventually, but like I said, I'll probably go find photos then to add to that. So to my other yes, I went ahead and I cut my cut files, my donut cut files, and so those will already be made for me. It took me a little longer to find my donut paper because I had the paper pad and these stickers set aside because I think they go together. So that actually was kind of nice. Now I think I have some embellishments to go with my layout. So this is the donut paper I know I want to use somehow in some form. So I'm going to set that and the photos aside. However, I'm going to need something to back the photos in, and I don't want to take this huge 12 by 12 paper pad. So I am going to go through it and kind of find some find some papers to back my donuts with. And what I am looking for is kind of like a pattern paper that has a small pattern. So I love this yellow. I think that's really pretty. So I'm probably going to set that one aside. I'm not sure how many layouts I am kind of in search for. But let's see. Let the good times roll, which would kind of be cute. They're donuts, not rolls, but that might be cute. And I do really like this pattern on that side. So I actually might stick this one in there just for some other embellishing options, because I love this too. So we'll set that one aside. That is the same. This is too big of a pattern, I believe, for the donuts. Too busy, so we don't want that. Same thing with that one. That might be fun. And that is a scrap, so I always like using up some scraps too. So we will set that aside. Oh, but here are some scraps as well. I like this happy, 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 because not gonna lie, donuts make me very happy. So we're gonna put that over there as well. Oh, always an adventure. We were on a car ride. Is that on this though? Always an adventure. So but I like the back side. So I'm gonna stick that one aside because I do want to take this as well. But that happy, happy, happy was not on that paper. Anything in here? I think we already have that covered. I think this must be where the happy, happy, happy came from. It's always better when we're together. I might make this a 2-page layout because I do have 3 photos. And I am with my friend, and everything is better when we're together. We're going to set that aside as well. This is a great fussy cut paper. As you can tell, I've already done that. And so that would be some embellishments because I don't have anything specific to this kit. Too busy for backing. Same with those. I have a scrap of this. There's the donuts again. We decided not to do that. I don't like the black. This one though, I think I will take. I know it's super busy, but it matches so well. And if I'm going to do a 2-page layout, I think I want that to go with me. Don't like the black on that. Don't need those. Don't need sunglasses. Don't need feathers. We have some of these already, but there's a strip of donuts. Kind of what I had in mind with the bigger ones though. No. And I think we're back at the repeating. So I don't think I really want that greenery either. Okay, so let's see if we have enough for this layout. And mind you, I am not going to go over all 50 layouts that I take with me. I do just kind of want to go over my process though with you, just to, if you were curious, I guess. So I have, let's see, technically 3, let's see, so 3 12 by 12 pieces, a fussy cut one, and some sayings, and actually 4 and a little bit. I think that is enough for me to make a 2-page layout. So we are going to put this together. This may be put into a plastic baggie just because there's some little parts. Otherwise, it's just gonna probably be set in an iris container. I like doing that as well. And let's see, adventure, road trip, and it kind of matches. It's kind of too bright, but that, I like that. And everyday adventure. I like the cameras on the sticker sheet. Some phrases, happy, messy. So I think I'm going to take this sticker sheet with it, and probably this one too. Just because there's a fun camera, a balloon, some hearts. And better, I guess, because it is so thin, better to have more embellishments than not enough. Some stars, some front hearts, dream big. So I think I am going to take that one too. And so we are going to put these photos here, do 2-page layout, stick that here with that, and add that to my 1-page, 2-page, add that to my list and set that aside. So that's kind of how I will start with photos and kind of move on toward picking out collections. But the second way that I do it, that I've kind of already hinted at, is having a collection and finding photos to go with the collection. So I don't think, well, let me go back. We did not have any fall photos there. Let me get out my photos. So this is more girly. That is another thing that is, I guess, easier for me. Some things are just more girly, and there's some things in here. I could probably do a boy layout for this, but I'm going to go through my photos now instead of wasting time going through all 3, both sons and mine, and kind of see. Ooh, look at this. So you can kind of see this popping out, right? This is actually, I think, a marigold collection, but it came with the Not Just for Boys kit. And look at this. I like that and this. I can do a pop of color, you know, so it doesn't blend in. Use this in a minute scale, I guess. But we are going to add these photos, and actually I have 2 different weekends that we went to the same place. So I think that's one weekend. So that's going to be a 2-page layout. And it looks like the other weekend I can do something else. So I'm going to take this note and do a 2-page layout, scribbles, sorry, and add it to my running total there. So there is that. So now I might see if there's any other fall photos since I'm here, which I don't think in mine. Those are my last fall photos in my pictures. So let's, since we're here and since I would like to do more than 3 layouts, let's kind of take out the paper at least to see, no, not that. If we could do, I don't know what my issue is. If I could do a boy layout in here. All right, so we know that we kind of want to do that color scheme. Here's some pink, so we won't do that for the kids, the boys, but there is this one that I could do, and that I would do. That is not girly enough for me not to put it in their album. So let's keep looking, and that one would go with it. I have a ton of this. This one I could use as a background. So I think I've seen enough that I am actually going to go get the boys' photos real quick. And actually, I think I have 2 that are just on top. Let's see. I don't know that I love that color scheme though for these photos. So that came with the Not Just for Boys kit. I don't love this color scheme for these 2 photos, but we are going to set those aside for another fall collection. I have found that fall is one, I guess I'll call it event, a season that I do like to scrapbook when I go away because I take so many fall photos. I feel like I can get a bunch done in a weekend. So let me grab photos. Oh goodness, so many photos. But luckily I store them chronologically so we can kind of go through and see where fall starts. Perfect, right here. This is better, although that's the only one. Because then we have pumpkins, and I don't want that for pumpkins. And then we have carving pumpkins. Halloween. Don't love that, but that is fall from 2 years ago. So let's keep going. Anyway, so I'm going to keep looking at photos now to go with this collection, and maybe I'll go pick out another collection and kind of go over that with you as well. Okay, so I went through my son's and actually found 2 sets of photos that I'll use for his album and try and use this collection as well. So these ones are actually the same photos that I'm going to use for my album, but I will try to make it more of a boyish layout, which might be fun. I'll try to record those while I'm at the crop and have a girl layout with the collection and a boy layout with the same collection. And then I thought these photos kind of have like that yellowish and then just some bright colors. I think I can make these work with the blues and everything in this layout. So we are going to put that in with this. So that is probably another 2-page layout. And now I gotta find my note. Saw it go down into the bottom. Anyway, so we are gonna do another 2 and another 2, and that's probably gonna be good enough for this collection. So I just want to, whatever I'm taking, I want to make sure I utilize as much as I can. So that is why I am taking 4 different layouts so we are just going to set that aside then, and I will go search for a collection then that I want to use again, and I'll be right back. So I recently purchased a bunch of new Felicity Jane goodies, so I kind of knew going into this crop that I wanted to kind of dive into those new collections, and so I grabbed this one out from my stash. It's the Gabby collection. I absolutely love the warm colors, and as I was thinking about it and looking at the colors, I realized I had the perfect photos. So this is from my cousin's wedding, and so we are going to take these, and I think just the rich colors here. My cousin has a little bit of this like mauve on her dress. I think this will be great. A little bit challenging because there is nothing about love or anything like that, but I think I can make it work. And we are going to set this aside and probably do 3 layouts, I'm gonna say. So a 1-page and then a 2-page, and we're gonna set that aside. But the wonderful thing about going through your collections is, if you remember, I set these 2 photos kind of to the side because the Days of Splendor just wouldn't match the colors. And as I was going through my Felicity Jane goodies, I came across Taylor, and look at these colors. I love the green, the maroon, the yellow. I think it'll work perfect with these, and I have lots of embellishments. So I actually came up with another layout as I was looking for a kit. All right, so the third way that I kind of prep and pack for a retreat is kind of going off of cut files. So Paige Evans just came out with this amazing apple basket, I guess, cut file. And I knew that we went apple picking last year. We went this year too, but I don't have those photos. And so I knew exactly what photos I wanted. So I went and grabbed the photos for the apple picking. And then it took me a second to kind of figure out what collection. I think I finally settled on the Fall Farmhouse by Simple Stories. There's some apples in it, some different things that I think I can use, and I think the colors will be good to back the cut file as well. So I think there's this little container of apples here, just some random apples that I think I'll be able to embellish with. So I think I'm gonna use this kit for these photos and this cut file. You can probably hear my Cricut going on in the background. I have another cut file prepping. I really do like to cut all my cut files, maybe even go overboard just so that I have options for when I get there. I don't really have to think about it. They're all cut for me, and I can just kind of grab and get creating. And so that is one thing that I will do ahead of time, is cut all of my cut files that I think I'll need. And so I'll probably spend a good couple of hours cutting cut files, and then kind of either placing them with kits that kind of match, or just kind of putting them in their own like bag to take with me. Okay, so now that I have all of my kind of page kits put together, I am going to transport them in this nice rolling cart. I got it actually from Aldi, and it has a handle, wheels, it's amazing. And last crop I did, I realized that an iris container standing upright fits in it perfectly. And so I can actually get all of my paper kits, everything, I guess paper embellishments, in this one cart. So I am just going to kind of pack it. So I did keep a couple of kits, the bigger ones, in the bags, all that they were already in. This one is in an envelope. I ended up with over 50 layout options. I am a faster scrapbooker. I probably won't get to all of those this weekend, but it is nice if you have the room to pack a little bit more. I guess you'd rather have more options and more stuff to scrapbook than not enough. If you have the room, obviously. So I am going Friday through Sunday. And we will see what I have done. So I am just going to then put my iris containers straight up. I have even more space in this rolling cart. So we will see. In the iris containers, I did have some room left. So I'll kind of show you. I did have room left in some of them. So I did add my white cardstock to one of them, my black cardstock. Just pack them full as you can, really. And then here's some of, the collection. So I actually do have quite a bit of space. If I want to add more, I don't think I will need to, but I do need to add my off-white basil and maybe a colored cardstock pad of paper, like the ones from Joann's that come in different option colors, just to have options. Since I do have the room, I might add those. So that is how I transport all of my papers. There's quite a bit in there, but it's very compact and allows for easy travel. All right, so packing this bag was actually my aunt's idea to show you. She said I'm really good at kind of packing, I guess, a lot in a small area. So I actually lucked out and got this bag from Hobby Lobby on clearance. It is a We Are Memory Keepers bag, and it's amazing. Honestly, if you do a lot of crops, I would probably even buy it full price. The wheels turn all ways. You know how some of the suitcases, I guess, the wheels kind of turn anyway for easy rolling. That's what this does. It's amazing. Lots of different pockets. But anyways, I went ahead and I actually gathered everything I'm going to put in here, or most of everything. I went over the checklist of must-haves and I went over my checklist of optionals, and just gathered everything. So what you can already see, this is actually in here from a previous crop. This is my extra tape. I may actually add some extra tape for my ATG gun. I do need to add the actual gun for that. So I take options just in case one runs out. I don't want to be without tape. Some of the crops retreats might not be close to a scrapbook store, craft store like the one I'm going to, but I want to be prepared because I most likely bought all this on sale and don't want to pay full price if I'm going to be honest. So I am going to take my distressed oxides. They are already packed. One of them are in this nice Tim Holtz container that is made for them, and I know that that's flat, so I'm going to pack that on the bottom. My other ones, my other colors are just in this little basket here, and I actually have some space here, so I will probably use that space to put some stuff. And now that I'm looking at it, there is actually, that is one thing I forgot, but there is one in here as well. So palette knife and a brush. I am going to have to grab some packaging so I can do the packaging technique and some water. Looking at what else I have, I think I'm going to actually put in this side pocket my punches. So I know that I have a snow layout, a snow collection, so I'm going to add that, and some of my border punches. I don't actually use a lot of punches, but some of these border punches will come in handy. And like I said, I do like to share. I just got this wave one at Tuesday morning, so I'm excited to dig into that because I have some pool and beach pictures and then just another border punch. So those all fit nice in the side there. I'm looking at what I have that I can, and actually I should check Okay, that is full. So that tape is good. I am going to I'm going to put my glue and my distressing tool. I like my glue upside down, so I'm going to stick that in there. My distressing tool will fit in there. There are 2 inside pockets here as well that I can put things. Let's see. These things I think I will put next. So scissors. I think I'm going to put the scissors in these pockets. I am bringing 2 pairs. I don't like to use my Tim Holtz if I did a cut file. I don't like to get glue on those, so those are going to go in there. And I think my journaling pens, no, they're too big for that. But guess what? There's this little pocket up front. They're thin enough they can stay there. Because it's kind of an odd shape and tall, I am going to stick my paper trimmer there. And I think I'm going to have room, so I am going to actually bring my other We Are Memory Keepers photo trimmer as well, because that will just stand up straight. I am going to bring my picket fence brushes for some mixed media, and I want those to stand up straight. And then I am a big fan of T-squares, so that is also going to go back there. And I'm thinking on this side, make sure there's nothing in it, I am going to put the dies that I am bringing, because not all of them are in bags, and I think they would, I went through my dies. I don't have a lot. This is stamps and dies, but I think these are going to fit really nicely in this pocket and even give me some extra room. So I am going to add that there. Let's see. Honestly, I just have like knickknacks kind of left. So my stamping block, I am going to use that. My foam tape, I have a bunch of it, and it's kind of falling apart, or not really in a specific, you can kind of see it's kind of loose. So I am going to stick these in this other small pocket. I have, surprisingly, a bunch of room left. I am kind of surprised at my own packing, if I'm going to be completely honest. So that is going to go in there. One thing I have to do still, and I may take you along for that as well, is kind of just pick some embellishments, alphas, large phrases that I think I might use that kind of go with what I have already out. I always bring wet wipes for my stamps and mixed media. I'm going to bring my flip flaps. I'm going to tuck those in, but I have a bunch of space left for embellishments, and I actually might get away with 2 carts this trip, which is pretty amazing. Because if you were with me on my first retreat, I made several trips. But as of right now, I'm going to grab my water. There is an off button if you have this. There is an off. Whoops. There. Well, it's supposed to be locked. Anyways, I'm going to slide that in there. If it gets wet, it gets wet. Not a huge deal. But what I might do is go through my sprays, my enamel dots, that kind of stuff, to bring some goodies so I can kind of spruce up my layouts and not have to do it when I get home, I guess. And maybe I threw my stencils too. I forgot to go through my stencils, but I have a bunch of room left over. So that's kind of, I guess, my must-haves and optional things in this nice rolling cart here, and a cart of all my papers with the embellishments. In the other rolling cart with the paper, I did add my cardstock, and I did add my page protectors. I do actually have to grab an album. I do like bringing them home in an album in page protectors. It's just something that I like to do. It's easy for me, but I have to buy an album yet. So that is what I do. Otherwise, you can take an extra iris container. They lay nicely in those. So those are a couple of my tips for bringing your layouts home. All right, I will attempt to do this without being too shaky, but here is the majority where I store the majority of like my phrase stickers. And so we'll kind of go through these. Because I have so much room, I might just grab a bunch of them. Looking at some of the phrases, I don't think I really grabbed too many boy layouts. So we're gonna just grab a stack and then kind of move down. I think I did bring some vacation. And I'll grab some Heidi Swap, Love, Family, Home, Smile, Happy. Let's see. So nothing else in that one. And then this one. I just don't know. Maybe some of these phrases. You know what? I do have beach. So we'll grab some of those. Maybe that. And then over here, trying to think of what I packed. I don't know that I really need more embellishments if I'm going to be completely honest. Most of how maybe I will bring those. I like these gears from Hobby Lobby. Most of how I packed and what I packed, and these cute little asterisks probably from Felicity Jane. But all are already packed with embellishments, stickers, that kind of stuff. Some phrase stickers are nice for titles, so I will grab those. But that is probably the majority of what I'm going to grab. I did already set aside some, not just for boys goodies, and I'll probably just grab a couple more. Take my enamel dots, because if I take my enamel dots, I don't have to take my Nuvo drops. And the enamel dots will take up less space. And might grab a couple of sprays, which I'm going to put in a separate baggie before I pack them. So if they leak, they don't leak all over my stuff. It'll just be in the bag. But I think that is what I'm going to grab for embellishments or extra embellishments. Pack it in my We Are Memory Keepers cart and call it good. Well, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video and found some good tips on how to pack for a weekend crop or retreat. If you have any questions, comment down below and I will definitely get back to you. But I hope you guys enjoyed and we will see you next time. Bye, guys.